Hey, it's your Bold Moves bestie, and I'm here to help you unlock your business potential. We are offering VIP strategy days. We are able to come through, help with the strategy, systems, and framework in your business to build processes to give you that firm foundation to get you from shift to scale. So if you're interested, go visit shebuiltsuccess.com and sign up so that we can get started on moving boldly forward together. On this episode, we are talking to the creative director and founder of luxury travel brand Silver & Riley, Lola Banjo, and we are getting into everything from what it takes to build a team, an enterprise, to sometimes, we need a little downtime, even seeking therapy. So hang tight, get ready, go ahead, push play. I'll catch you on the inside. So Silver & Riley as a brand, how did the name come about? Like that was one of the, I was like, this is cool. It's not a everyday, clearly it's your brand or your company, but it's not like an everyday heard of name. Like how did you bring the two together? And it's an ampersand. Yeah. Let's make that
it's
part
an ampersand,
clear.
Okay? Listen, I'm going to fight somebody over my ampersand because I don't understand. The ampersand is one character, but people go A and D. I'm like, that's too much effort. Just do the ampersand.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Do the ampersand.
They'd be like, let me just type them three characters.
Right.
Out.
I'm like, just type up one character, okay?
Yeah.
No, it is an ampersand. I'll be fighting over that ampersand. You know it, girl.
Yeah.
But no, so Silver & Riley was birthed. I launched the brand for years and change ago. And so when I was going through the process of ideating on the name, I knew that I wanted to have a reference to my mom in there somewhere, because my mom has inspired me and influenced the brand. Yeah. And I didn't know how, because I also wanted the brand name to be universal. Mm-hmm. I wanted everyone to feel included because, I'm a global traveler. It's inspired by my travels around the world and all these things I've done. And so I wanted everyone to feel included at the same time. So I'm like, how do I create a universal name that has my mother's influence in it? Yeah. So I tested so many different names, but then Silver kept on coming back to me because when I was growing up, my mom had a couple of businesses, and one of them was a jewelry business. Okay. So she used to fly to the Middle East and buy gold jewelry. Mm-hmm. So if you're familiar with the Middle East, it's gold there. Right. Like everything is gold, gold. Right. So as kids, she used to, like, for birthdays or things like that, like she would buy us like gold chains. Mm-hmm. And, so when I say us, I'm talking about like my brothers and my cousins will all have birthday parties together. And so everyone gets a gold chain and all that stuff. It was fun growing up. Yeah. But I was like, I want to be different. I don't want the same gold chain as everybody else. So I'm like, well, I want silver jewelry. Mm-hmm. My mom's like, they don't have silver jewelry in the Middle East like that. Like, where am I going to get it? I'm like, well, you're going to have to find it. Mm-hmm. So she'll go out of her way to find silver jewelry. And so that was just one of the things that she did out of love for me, because I was just like, I want silver jewelry. Yeah. And so she used to call me her silver baby, her brat. And so Silver was her nickname for me. And so that name, that word has kind of always like reminded me of her and her legacy. So I was like, Silver got to be in there somewhere because everyone can relate to silver. Right. Like it's just it's a metal, it's an element. Yes. And so I'm like, okay, it can't just be like silver. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to, obviously I pulled my mom's legacy into it, but also the legacy I'm creating. Mm-hmm. I've always loved Riley as a name. Mm-hmm. And when I have my children, I say children because, whether it's a boy or girl, I want Riley. Like Riley is a universal name. I think it's unisex. So I'm like, okay, the legacy my mom left behind and the one I'm creating, let me bring that together. And that's what Silver Riley was birthed. Yes. So,
that is so beautiful. So that was my curiosity, I'll admit. I love that. That is like honoring the past and the present or future.
In the future, yeah.
Gosh. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, legacy. Tie it all.
Yeah, it's all about legacy. I'm all about legacy.
In anything, in business, there are tough times, there are exciting times, and there are some uncertain times. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about what it's been like for you coming up with Silver & Riley as a brand, as a company, as an enterprise?
So one thing about me is I don't sugarcoat the journey. Mm-hmm. Like I will be honest about the fact that there's been multiple ups and downs. Mm-hmm. successes and failures. And all of those things are necessary in your journey and your story. And so starting this brand, I had a certain sense of how business runs, just because I've been in strategy consulting for businesses for several years. But when it's your own business, it's a little different. So the applicability to your own business is different and everything. And those are things that you actually have to learn while you're in it, you know, because you can't learn those things in a book, right? So when I set out to start this business, once I decided that it was going to be Italian made goods, and it's going to be made in a certain kind of level of quality and excellence, I'm like, okay, how do I do that? Because I don't know nobody in Italy. I don't have any manufacturing contacts. So that was the first kind of big thing I had to overcome. I pulled up Google, pulled up, you know, the Italian version of the Yellow Pages, and I started calling up manufacturers, and I just didn't get anywhere. 136 rejections. I just kept on going. I basically was like, it took about a 9-month period of time from when I was like ideating on my designs and trying to find a manufacturer. I could not find a manufacturer because I was solo. I was not investor backed. That didn't have any venture funding. I was a new entity to them. I was trying to create my very first prototype, right? So it's not like I had any kind of level of success to show them or anything like that. You know, so, and I didn't have a lot of money. I had $100,000 and I thought it was a lot of money. And they're like, that's going to make one bag. That's not a collection. I had my first rude awakening, you know, because I thought it was just going to be easy to find a manufacturer to create at the level of excellence and production that I wanted for a custom built product. Like if I wanted to go a different route, like maybe like just buying ready-made products, and that's a different kind of business model. But I wanted it to be like, I designed the pieces and it's created. So I went the full, I guess, long route. And it was just really tough. It was tough to find manufacturers. I was calling, I was emailing, not getting responses, getting rejections. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Italy. And so I took a 2-week PTO.
No, that's right.
And girl, I was like, listen, if what's that proverb? If the horse is not going to come to the river's going to, wait, what, how you say it?
Don't ask me. I can't be like quoting nothing.
Wait, how the river going to come to the horse?
Draw the something to the horse. You can't draw a horse to water, to drink.
Something like that. Y'all know what proverb we're trying to say. That one. So I'm like, listen, I'm finna go there because so I booked the flight and I went, and I literally went door to door. For the first week, I was getting nowhere. I didn't speak Italian. I was trying to use my Apple Translate. The second week, I hired a translator that went with me to these factories and really just started like knocking on the door. And they were like, you have an appointment? I was like, well, I tried to schedule one. You didn't respond. So I'm here. They thought I was crazy, but I kept on doing that until I finally found a manufacturer. Like 136. I tell the story. I'm gonna tell the story when I'm 99 years old. And you know, I'm gonna tell it to my grandkids, like, listen, y'all better work hard because listen, girl, I'm gonna have to talk to 136 people. Okay.
This is my testimony.
Okay. No, but like I also had this concept of like sunk cost, because I'm like, listen, I have invested all this time, so I'm not gonna turn back now. I need to keep on going. And also, my mom used to say something like, no condition is permanent. And it just speaks to like persevering through whatever circumstances you're in, because rejection is not permanent, you know, and you just keep on going. So I'm like, okay, eventually there's going to be an open door. You go through all these closed doors. Eventually a door is going to open. I eventually found a manufacturer that helped me make my first prototypes. They were able to accept the smaller runs. So the reason why I also kept on getting rejected is because I only had a budget for smaller runs, right? So in the world of manufacturing, there's something called the MOQ, which is the minimum order quantity. So they want you to order a certain amount of SKUs, right? Or units per SKU. So they'll say they can only produce 1,000 of this unit of the SKU, right? So that bag over there, we got to produce 1,000 pieces. But by that time, that bag costs like $300 to produce, right? So if I got to do 1,000 pieces, that's $300,000, right? And that's just the production for the labor, not cost of materials, not cost of freight, not cost of. So I'm like, I have $100,000, right? If you want me to do 1,000, I can't even do one. I can't even do one bag. So that's why it took me a long time. So I was able to finally find a manufacturer that was willing to do shorter runs, shorter units or smaller MOQs with me. And so That was my first go at it, so that was my first lesson in perseverance and like, so, but that was just the beginning, girl. When I tell you all the things I've had to endure with this brand, but every situation, honestly, that I've gone through only strengthens me and pushes me to go further.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what? Like, if the journey is difficult, that means that I'm on the right path. Yeah. Because, God is building me up for something great. And, sometimes you're going to go through that all the time. You go through a test before you get to that testimony.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm going to keep going.
Yes.
I'm going to keep going. And eventually this is going to become easier. Yeah. Right. And even today, there's still things that we face. Like, I've lost millions of dollars in this process from manufacturing defects and stuff that I'm like, I'm never going to send something that's not quality to customers. Yeah. So when I get a shipment, right, when we get a shipment in a warehouse and stuff is defective, and it just has to sit there. You have to do write-offs. You have to do all this stuff getting damaged in customs during COVID because we couldn't get stuff from our container, right? And at that time, I didn't have business insurance. I had to learn that the hard way too. So all our stuff was sitting on the port somewhere, getting damaged. It was the worst. Like, so, and then other things like just losses and just also like, unfortunately going through something in business where people are just trying to just get over and, they only care about their own best interest. So they take your money and they don't fulfill what they're supposed to do. Unfortunately, I've encountered a lot of that. Wow. And every time I've encountered that, honestly, just pushes me to be more honest in my business. Like, I've never been dishonest, but I'm like, I want to be the antithesis of what they did to me. Like, I want to be a business that has integrity, that says exactly what they're going to do and does that thing. Right. I want to be the one that's always treating people well, and that's the handwritten notes too, because I'm not just in business. Like, I also want people to feel good.
That's that relationship.
Yeah. I want them to feel good. Like, I want you to feel like you're doing something, like good, like with your money, like, and so every negative thing that's happened to me pushes me to do something even more positive in my business, because I'm like, only me is not going to make an impact, but maybe it could be a chain reaction and other people can pick up on those things. And like, just the principle of just treating people with respect and dignity, and it's not a lost art, but I'm also very fortunate. Yeah. I'm very fortunate. I've found business partners that have worked with me and done things the right way and really respected me as a person. So, in life, you're going to get both sides of the coin. Right. And so I just draw up a lot of my motivation and inspiration from the positive side of the coin. I always try to look at the good side, and even if the negative side is overwhelming, I still look at those good things, and that's what keeps me going in business. Like, it just keeps me knowing that there's another day to try again. And and if there's something that I feel is wrong in business, I can be the one that, sets the example and trailblazes on that. Exactly. Like, if I feel the luxury industry takes advantage of customers, well, I can set a different example with my brand. Right. And so just finding ways to do those things and just trying to do the best that I can. Again, we don't always get it right, but one thing I'm always commit to is trying. Yeah. No, and learning as I go.
I think one of the things that also drew me to you, not the fact that it was in my feed, because yes, it was in my feed, but just even how you curate and put together the different campaigns. You could tell that there was intention behind it. Like, it's not just haphazardly thrown together. What's the future for you for Silver and Riley?
The future is growing as a brand. I have set my sights really high because I just know that that's what God has destined for me, is to create this brand that's going to be global and be a household name. Yeah. Like, because I think about it like, why not me? Right. Other brands are household names. Right. Like, it's a human being that started Walmart, Ritz-Carlton, Rolls-Royce, all those brands. It's a human being. Like, my dad used to say growing up, like, that person that came first in the class doesn't have two heads. It has one head just like you. Why can't you come first in the class? That's the Nigerian. Like that, my dad used to say that all the time. I'm like, but I came second. I'm like, why did you come first? Does the person that came first have two heads? Now, okay. In a different way, I'm just like the people that have created legacy brands, brands that have endured. You know, they're human beings just like me, right? And I'm really inspired by that. Like, you know, growing up, my mom had a Rolex watch that, you know, she was just like, I'm gonna give this to you when you're older. And so, you know, just be able to create something that has longevity. You know, and as part of generational stories, that is my purpose behind this brand. And so that's the future for me. So finding ways to continue to do that. And, you know, taking the stairs, like I don't believe in shortcuts. I believe that you're going to have to experience so many different things in order to be able to get better. Right. So if you're trying to avert pain and failure, you're not going to learn. Pain and failure is actually part of the journey. You're going to fail a lot. And I failed. I'm very proud of my failures because I've been able to, like, you know, recover from them and keep going. Right. And I can't say I'm never going to have failures again because that's a lie. It's going to happen. Something else is, I pray it doesn't, but something else is going to happen. But it's just like mentally and prepare and understanding what the purpose of those failures are. It's to make you better. It's to get you to think differently, think about how you can be better tomorrow. And, you know, so that's the journey. So, you know, taking the long way, right? Building, but really building the foundation that's strong for the future. I can't say like, oh, my kids are going to run Silver Rally because I don't know what they're going to want to do. They may want to do something else. But I know that I'm going to create a brand that's going to transcend just me. Right. And, you know, that's the story behind creating a legacy brand, like, you know, creating generational wealth and generational purpose and, you know, building something that I can be proud of. Like when I'm 99 years old and I'm looking back on my life, I want to feel like I've done something that I'm super proud of, that I know, you know, my mom is proud of, my dad is proud of, and, you know, the people around me are proud of, and I'm doing something and living as a human being that, you know, I'm doing good and, you know, giving back with the brand as well. So we give 5% of all sales as grants to women-owned businesses. And that's something I pray to keep growing. I've also seen how I'm part of the venture capital community. And initially I was actually going to go the venture capital route. And, you know, outside of that, I've seen how investors take advantage of founders and, you know, and I want to be able to change that too. I'm not going to change it en masse, but in small ways, like how can I support a woman I want to focus on women, but how can I support a woman founder and make sure that she's getting coaching and support and the monetary things that she needs to be successful? Because the lack of revenue and the lack of funding, the lack of resources kills so many dreams. We all have a Silver and Riley in us, but not everyone has the $100,000 I had to start. Right. So I'm thinking about that woman that has like an amazing, you know, business idea and dream and, you know, but she doesn't know how to start. I'm grateful for the foundation that I've gotten from my upbringing and my education and my family, you know, but I know everyone has different starting points. So I'm like, how can I impact or help in a small way impact those starting points? Do you know how impactful $50,000 could be to somebody like that when they're starting out? You know, just to know, and even not just the money, but just knowing that somebody believes in your dreams. Because sometimes when you're a founder and you're sitting there by yourself at night and you're crying and you're just like, does anybody see me? Like this journey can be hard, right? So that's why I'm investing in women entrepreneurs, both domestically as well as in emerging economies, teaching business literacy in emerging economies, like, you know, in Lagos, for instance, in countries in Latin America, like where, you know, women can be, you know, can have so much more opportunity than they're afforded by maybe their governments or their circumstances. And I'm like, you know, when you train a woman, when you give a girl and you give her the resources and the ability to do something for herself, you know, that's what sustains communities because she's able to create and, you know, birth so much from that, you know. And we always say, like, you give us flour, we create breads and you know, we create so much like, you know, so, but a lot of people never get that flour to start. And, you know, so in my own small ways, I want to be able to do that. So I want to grow the fund. As we grow, obviously, in revenue, the fund grows because it's always going to be 5%, right? Maybe in the future, I'll be able to do more. But right now, it's 5%, right? So as we grow as a business, the fund grows. And so I just pray to be able to impact more women as I go along. And growing the lifestyle brand and just like, growing this luxury brand. I want to do everything. I can't do everything all at once, so I'm going to hire other creative directors. And, there's going to be a time where I'm going to step away from the brand a little bit. And that's why also I don't call myself the CEO. I'm the founder and creative director. But I want to hire a CEO eventually, a CFO, COO, all those C's, right?
Yes,
like
the whole
I look at myself as an enterprise.
Yes.
Like we are an enterprise today. Yes. Honestly, if I didn't share that we are only a team of 4 with 2 part-time fulfillment staff. So 6, I guess. A lot of people don't even know how small the team is because of the engine behind it, the way we fulfill, the way we create and everything. It's because I've been working my ass off.
Listen.
But people don't even know. Like I wore all the hats in this business for many years. My brother came on board a year and a half ago. Okay. And that was like the biggest relief because I was tired, girl. Yeah. I was like, oh Lord, I'm tired. And my brother said, yo, I see your vision. I see everything you're doing. I love this brand. You've been able to grow it. I'm going to leave my own thing and come and be with you. Yo, you know how much that gave the assurance? Like he said, I'm going to leave my own thing and come rock with you. Yes. And we're going to do this together. And he quit his own thing. And now he's full-time with the brand as well. Wow. And it's just like, okay, then I was like, this is real. Yeah. Like this is a family legacy we're building together. Yes. So, I just really look forward to the journey. I'm so grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for every single person that I get so emotional. I'm such a crier, but I'm so grateful for every single person that encourages me on the journey and just supports the brand, whether it's purchasing something or just sharing an encouraging word, sharing our posts on social media, because again, it's like my heart and soul in this. Like, I know it's going to be big, and so in those days that it feels dark and lonely because of all the challenges that comes with growing a brand and bootstrapping it yourself, I've put millions of dollars into this. I know that it's going to pay off. And I just got to keep going.
I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but I can speak for me. Being in isolation sometimes or feeling like it's just you can be overwhelming. And feel like, I'm not gonna say there's no hope because there's always hope, but like it's not gonna end sometimes. And seeing that vision, knowing you want to leave a legacy, I think, and I'll say for me, is something that just keeps you going. Absolutely. Makes you get up and be like, all right, let's dust this off, or let's persevere through it. Right. So we can come on the other side. So no, I keep saying testament, but it's just a testament to what you're building. And how you're intentional with how you're building it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just pray that God keeps on leading me. And through those moments of isolation, just realizing and remembering that I do have a supportive community of people, of women like you, and I am not alone. Even when I feel alone, I'm not alone. My friends, my family, all the people that support us, and every single person that is part of the Silver and Riley family, whether they've bought a wallet or they've bought 10 bags like you, every single person that has shared a post and just mentioned us in an editorial, and maybe styled us on their client or whatever it is. Like those people are all part of my community, my village. So I'm not alone, even when I feel alone sometimes. And I just pray for God's guidance throughout the journey, and just to try my best. That's all I'm going to ever try to do is just try my best every day. You know, not always going to get it right, but I'm going to try my best.
Yes. And don't worry, I'm going to continue saying your prayers.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Always.
I appreciate it.
Yes. I think the next thing, let's talk about just, what do you do in your downtime? Like what's
girl, what's downtime?
That was going to be the next thing I said.
I'm
do
sorry.
You have downtime?
No, I do. No. I do. And that's intentional as well. So I feel embarrassed to say this, but I just got a therapist for the first time last year.
That's good. That's not embarrassing.
I know, but I feel like I should have had a therapist in a long time.
That's okay. You did
but
it.
Last year was extremely, extremely life-changing and overwhelming, and so many you know some of that.
Yeah.
I think I hit a couple of rock bottoms in certain ways emotionally, and I needed to get a therapist.
Yeah.
And so, and just, you know, unravel things and just like try to put them back together in a different way. And so one of the things that she pressed me on was like, how are you making sure that you're baking in the things that you love? Because before I started this company, I had a whole litany of things that I loved, and I always did it, you know, whether I was doing cooking classes or going rock climbing or traveling here and traveling there. But once I started the brand, like the brand has taken up so much of my time and energy. But going back to Ikigai, right? The Ikigai didn't say I should just do my brand and that's it, right? I need to have a well-balanced life.
Right.
So it's just reminding me of those things. And so one of the things I do is like on weekends, unless it's absolutely necessary. I know it sounds really simple and really small, but you know, most entrepreneurs are 24/7. But now on weekends, I'm like, listen, my laptop got to be closed. Unless it's like the roof is burning. Sometimes the roof is burning, right? But on weekends, I'm like, no, I'm going to just dedicate that time. And I still like traveling is something that brings me joy.
Yeah.
So I still am going to travel, right? So I find ways to travel. There was a period of time, probably from 2020 to 2023, that the only travel I was doing was for work. Like if I was traveling anywhere, it's because I was having some kind of vendor meeting or supplier meeting, whatever it is, right? But now I started traveling for fun again. Like, and so I'm doing that. I went to Japan. I didn't have one lick of meeting. I was just like, I was just there. I was just chilling, living my best life. I've been to Japan a couple of times before, but this I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm not responding any Silver Riley emails. If they can wait, it's okay. I overnighted the notes. I still had to do that, but But, you know, I'm just making sure I'm like baking in all the things I really love to do. You have to do that. You have to find downtime.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're still a complete person.
Correct.
You know, whatever it is that you're investing your time in, whether it's your family, your kids, your hobbies, and, you know, things outside of work, you know, like you have to find those things.
Yes.
Like, because you're going to break down. You're going to lose yourself.
Yes.
Like, you cannot pour all your energy into just one thing.
Yes.
It's going to drain you. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to just feel burnout. And so I find ways to do the things that I love: traveling, cooking, you know, going to shows, like going to museums and those things. Like I find the ways to do that. And like, I also love cooking for my family and friends. So downtime for me is them coming over for a Saturday brunch or Sunday dinner. Yeah. And so like, just having my family, my community, my friends like around is downtime for me, you know? So anybody that brings me peace, because I don't want no drama.
Right. We don't got time for that.
I don't got time for drama. Anybody that brings me peace and good vibes is my downtime. So.
I am so appreciative, Lola, of just your presence and being able to have this conversation. I hope that everyone has just a piece of understanding of what it means, not only to build an enterprise, but the person behind the enterprise. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and do you want any parting words, anything?
Yeah, I think the last thing I would say is that, you know, I really believe that we are limitless as people. We each in this world, in this life, have the ability to create. And it all starts in our mind and how we view ourselves, right? Yeah. And sometimes that's a journey because, you know, we could have a lot of precedent that's been set, whether from our environment, how we grew up, you know, in terms of that has limited our capabilities. Right. So you have to unlearn a lot of things sometimes, but you have to know that you're a master creator in so many ways. And you have the power to influence and you have the power to create your destiny. Yeah. Like the power is literally, God gave you that power. It's really in your hands. Yes. And it starts within your mind and what you see, how you see yourself. Yep. And so I just want everyone to like start that journey of really seeing themselves as a capable, amazing human being, right? And just knowing that whatever it is that you want to do in this life, there's nothing that's bigger than you. You know, I remember growing up, I will say, oh, I used to think about corporations and like just as like mythical creatures, like it wasn't me. Like I could never be a part of that, because I just never envisioned my little self, as somebody that could create. So again, it took a lot of like unlearning certain things.
Yes.
And now I realize that anything is possible for you.
Yeah.
Because again, the people that have created anything, and it doesn't have to just be business, but the people that have achieved any level of success, whether it's with family, with health, or whatever it is, they're human beings just like you.
Yes.
And it starts within your mind and thinking that you're capable.
Yes.
If you feel like you're capable, you can achieve anything.
Absolutely.
So do the work, whether it takes a month, whether it takes a year, whether it takes 10 years, do the work to get to a place where you start to see your self-worth and see yourself as capable of doing anything, and just go for it.
Yeah.
Because again, there's nobody that's better than you. There's nobody that's smarter than you. Everyone has a different foundation.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you can't build.
Exactly.
Right? Because listen, you need the foundation and you also need to build, because some people start off with amazing foundation and they don't know how to build. Right. Or you can start off with a shaky foundation and have to crumble it all down and rebuild. And that's fine.
Yeah.
It may take you longer. It's taken me a long time, but I'm still going to get there.
Yep.
Right? So we all have the capability to do anything we want to do in this life.
Yes.
As long as we believe in ourselves. It's so cliche, but it's true. If you believe in yourself, there's nobody that can tell you like I'm telling you, I'm building a $1 billion brand, and there's nobody that can tell you anything different. People are like, oh, you don't have venture capital funding. You don't have this, you don't have that. Like I have all these VCs trying to throw, fun, but they want to take 50% equity. I said, no. Okay. So but I'm like, listen, even if it takes me longer, because I'm not trying to build and sell, like I'm not trying to just like do it for the money. I'm trying to, again, build a legacy.
Right. Even
Even if it takes me longer, I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there. And I really believe in that. I believe that we have the capacity to create a life that we want.
Yes.
Like it's all within us.
Yes.
Whatever skill you need to learn, go learn it. It may take you a couple of years, but you can learn it.
Yeah.
You can learn it. Like whatever things that you're not a tree. You're not stuck where you are. If you feel like you hate your job and you hate this and you can change. Everyone can change. People are becoming doctors at 70.
Right.
People are writing books at 80. People are doing all kinds of stuff. Like everybody, like you can do anything at any age. Like it's not too late. Your time has not passed. All of those things are social constructs that you need to let go. Right? Yeah. Because again, you could do anything at any age as long as you put your mind to it. Now, you may not be able to play on an under 21 team at any age, right? Because that was my dream for some time. I wanted to play professional soccer. But once I passed a certain age, I had to let that go. So that's something I can't influence, right? But other things you can influence, right? And so, you just have to know that the power is within you and the world is truly abundant. And there is nothing but possibility. And anybody that's ever done anything before, it could be you. You're not excluded no matter what your starting point is. Again, you may have a longer journey, but you're not excluded. Don't exclude yourself. Don't say, oh, that's for them people. That's for rich people. That's for X kind of people. No, that's for you too. Because you're just as special as anybody else on this earth. So that's all I'm gonna say.
No, Lola, I thank you so much. This is a good one. This is a great one. So thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of She Built Success. Bold Move Besties, I challenge you to think about what are you doing to leave a legacy here on this earth. Hit me up in the comments, send me a DM. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or follow on the podcast platform of your choice or YouTube. I'll catch you on the next episode of She Built Success. Bye.